We don't precisely know yet exactly what types of leaks may happen or may be ongoing.
That is just one of the questions investigators are trying to work out this morning as they search for the cause of a plant explosion that injured a dozen people. Here's what remains of the Jicon Sense Color building after yesterday afternoon's blast blew it apart. This is on Payne Street, just off I-64 in Louisville's Clifton neighborhood. Jim Stratman joins us live from that area this morning. Jim, the closest that you're allowed to get and the closest that we've been able to get ever since that explosion happened more than 12 hours ago.
And as the lights kind of flicker across the rubble, Grace, we can actually see a little bit of what's left of the Jicon plant. And I mean, there is not much that isn't just collapsed in on itself at this point. It's really, as the sun starts to rise, we'll be able to see a little bit more. We've seen fire crews out here just blocking the entrance. The roads around here seem to be open. Cars have been coming through all morning long. In fact, we just saw a TARC bus drive through not more than a couple of minutes ago, but it wasn't that way last night. In fact, last night, as Mayor Greenberg was giving his final update around 11 o'clock, most of these roads were still closed at that point. And we heard from the mayor at that point, 12 people injured during this blast. Now, the extent of those injuries, they range from the minor all the way up to critical or even life-threatening injuries. The mayor said that ATF is going to be sending a federal team on their way, a reconstruction unit, to help determine what caused that blast. The blast itself was reported around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Again, 12 people hurt, all employees, according to the mayor's office. And those injuries, again, ranging from the minor to the very, very serious.
There were a fair amount of burn injuries, a pretty significant amount of blast injuries as well, from the penetrating and blunt injuries from the force of the explosion, as well as some crush injuries where some debris had fallen on the pavement.
Mayor Greenberg is expected to provide a little bit more information this morning around 10 o'clock, so we're expecting to learn more things about the state of the victims themselves, where the investigation stands, and when this area might be safe. We're bringing you those details on air and online as we get them. Now, there was, at the time of the blast, a shelter-in-place issued for this area. Again, the roads in this area seem to have been opened up overnight. We're seeing more traffic flow through, but officials are still telling people to avoid the area if they can. Again, we're hoping to get a little bit more clarification and information on that as the morning continues. Grace?
Thank you. Some businesses and homeowners across Frankfort Avenue in Clifton say they were rattled by the blast. Several places had glass blown right out of the windows, and some were seen boarding up those windows right in front of our crews. Property developer Nathan Rush was checking out his house in the area when the plant blew up.
I've never heard a bomb, but I gotta imagine it was a lot like that. And the echo, and everyone heard it, is a sound wave that put pressure on your body.
Rush says the blast only damaged the windows of his property, thankfully. If your home or property has been damaged, though, you can contact MetroSafe to report it. The number is on your screen. It's 502-574-2117. Emergency officials say if you have fallen debris, leave it where it is so they can check it out. They want you to know that that debris isn't contaminated, but leaving it in place will help investigators piece together what happened. Our other top stories here this morning happening today. There will be 2 hearings for the civil lawsuits against former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Null. The Indiana Attorney General's office is looking to recover millions in misused funds taken from New Chapel EMS. Null's wife and daughter, Misty and Casey, have asked the court for permission to sell several properties and use the money to help pay what's owed. But the AG's office is arguing the process should wait. We could learn how the issue will move forward today. Last month, Jamie Null was sentenced to 15 years in prison for charges including tax evasion, money laundering, and theft. Hearings started at 11 this morning. The judge in the Crystal Rogers case has officially set trial dates for the 3 suspects in her murder, and there will be 2 different trials. First up, Steve Lawson will be tried by himself on February 10th next year. Then Brooks Houck, Rogers' ex-boyfriend, and Joseph Lawson, Steve Lawson's son, will be tried together. Their trial date is June 24th of 2025. Joseph and Steve Lawson are charged with complicity to murder and tampering with physical evidence. Houck is charged with murder. Louisville Metro Police have launched a new investigation into an officer recently reprimanded for actions during the 2020 protests. Officer Dustin received a letter of reprimand for hitting a photojournalist with pepper balls during the protests over Breonna Taylor's death. He was also on desk duty for 3 years, which Chief Paul Humphrey considered part of his punishment. The FBI declined to charge Dean with any criminal or civil rights violations. Mayor Craig Greenberg addressed the investigation yesterday during his weekly update.
Chief Humphrey is committed to investigating this new information that just got brought to his attention with a sense of urgency. What I've seen on the body cam footage is very concerning, and so I appreciate Chief Humphrey working on this with urgency to bring this matter to a conclusion.
In a statement, the department says it's learned of new incidents that weren't part of the initial investigation. The statement goes on to say Chief Humphrey, quote, takes this matter seriously and is initiating an investigation into those incidents. The police department will provide an expedient review of the new allegations. We're working to learn more details about this new alleged incident, and we'll keep you updated. Jefferson County Public Schools not going to be changing start times next year. During a meeting last night, the school board voted to keep the current school start times. And that means next school year, all the schools across the district are going to have staggered times, some starting at 7:30, then 8:40, then 9:40 in the morning. The first day for JCPS students next year is August the 7th.